Hello and welcome to your first lesson on artificial intelligence. This is a series of videos I have created for class 8 students. So starting from the first topic, which is always what is AI, I'll be taking you through your whole syllabus for this year. And this is where our exciting journey into the world of AI begins, because AI is everywhere and all of you know so much about AI. Use AI. It is time you understand what artificial intelligence actually is, how the machines behave the way they do. You all have been using artificial intelligence in one way or the other. You'll realize this as we move further into the lesson. In today's class, we'll understand what AI is, explore where it is used, and we'll break down the 5 major components that make artificial intelligence machines behave like humans. Let's get started. We start with the very fundamental: what is artificial intelligence? In one line, I would say artificial intelligence means teaching machines to behave like humans. Now, what exactly you mean by behaving like humans? It means understanding things, understanding their surrounding, understanding logic, reasoning, taking decisions based on inputs. This is what it means to be artificially intelligent. So you must be thinking how we can teach the machines to behave like us. Okay, we have been doing this all along. It is just that we teach living things, living beings, how to behave like us. Just think for a moment how kids learn. They learn by imitating the behavior, action, words, language of the grown-ups. The moment you say something, a very small kid is there, they would repeat the words that you speak. And that is how they learn how they are supposed to behave. It is exactly the same with machines. We are trying to train them to behave like us by teaching them the way we would teach a kid. And what exactly is that? We will cover that later in the video. First, let's cover the topic of what is artificial intelligence. So let us understand what artificial intelligence is. Artificial intelligence also means building programs or machines that can apparently think and act like humans. Now, I am using the term apparently because machines cannot actually think. Even among the living things, we humans are the only ones who can think so much with such clarity. Other animals are not evolved that they can think. We feel that machines are thinking because they are doing things very fast. You ask them to do something and they will do it quickly, and you feel that they are thinking and doing. So whether it is identifying patterns, looking at existing data, applying logic, identifying images, whatever processing you ask it to do, it does it very fast, which allows it to analyze lots of data very quickly and make it seem like they are actually thinking. It is not actually thinking because it is a machine. The third and final point that I would like to talk about is artificial intelligence is like giving a machine a brain that learns from data. We humans have brain, very advanced and evolved brain, and that is why we are different from other animals, right? Because we can understand and think and act accordingly. Artificial intelligence is something similar we are trying to impart the machines. How we are doing that? We'll cover that. The first thing that you need to understand is artificial intelligence is not at all same as human intelligence. AI may seem human-like, but it is still very different. For starters, it does not have the brain that you have with millions of neurons that, in fact, billions of neurons that work together to help you think and take decisions and act in a certain way. Instead, it works based on data. It works based on logic or given patterns. It is something like giving machines a set of instructions and letting them find patterns in huge amount of information. Suppose you want a child to learn to identify the color red. Now what you will do? You will show them 10, 20, 40, 50, 100 of images that are red in color. You will show them real life objects that are red in color. You will show them a red apple. You will show them a red dress. You will point out a red ribbon to them. So when you show them a new object which is red in color, without you telling them, they can tell you that yes, this is red in color. The next level would be you are teaching them 5 colors and you show them a new object and they will be able to identify whether that object is one of those 5 colors or not. This is how we are trying to make the machines intelligent as well. If we want it to be able to identify oranges, then we'll give them hundreds of images of oranges from every angle, of every size, of every color, every ripeness level, so that if it gets a new image of orange, it will be able to identify it. So basically, artificial intelligence is enabling machines to get lots of data, analyze the pattern, analyze the color, analyze the structure, basically analyze the data and understand what it is about. And when it gets a new piece of data, then it can identify it, it can process it based on what it has already learned. The first set of data, the first set of images that you provide the machine to make it understand is training data. As part of the training data, you have given the machine 1000 images of red objects or 230 images of oranges, and that is how it will learn to identify the color red or the fruit orange. Last but not the least, artificial intelligence does not mean that the machine develops any emotions or common sense. At least not yet. We have not yet achieved that level of training that we can make the machines feel. It does not feel the emotions or understand the context like we do. For instance, if somebody is crying, then we can understand whether those are tears of joy or they are crying because they are sad. Machines cannot yet look at a crying face and tell you that. Now, AI is already part of your daily life. Say you are using Google Maps to avoid traffic, or you are asking Siri a question, or you are using the camera, or you are using face recognition to unlock your smartphone. That is AI. Have you observed that when you are watching a video on YouTube, on the right hand side, in the right hand side bar, it will give you suggestions for the next videos? How is that done? That is using artificial intelligence. The YouTube app collects information about all the videos you have watched till now. It collects information about all the people who watch similar videos, and based on that, it suggests you what could be the next video that you would like to see. AI is not something from the future, or it is not something that is out of reach for general people. No, it is already here. You are already using them. Face recognition, like I said, there are already self-driving cars. There are chatbots and virtual assistants. You open a website, under a bottom or any of the 4 corners, you can see chatbot, which is there to help you. Even game bots are there. Emails. We have spam filters to filter out all the unwanted messages. These are some of the real world examples which tell you that you are already using artificial intelligence. So never say that, I don't know anything about it, I will learn about it when I use it. No, you are already using it. So next, let's come to What makes AI smart? What makes artificial intelligence machines work the way they do? Now, AI is made up of 5 core abilities. These 5 core components are what we call cognitive abilities in a human being, and we are trying to inculcate those cognitive abilities by training the AI machine on humongous amount of data. So what are these 5 core abilities? The first one is learning, acquiring knowledge from data, as we discussed just now about learning to identify the color red or learning to identify the fruit orange. So learning is the first cognitive ability. The second one is reasoning. The machine should be able to make decisions logically. We are training them for that as well. The third is problem solving. So you give it a problem and it will tell you the solution. Next comes perception, understanding the surroundings. We are providing them enough training data so that they can understand that if there is a river, then there might be boats around it, there might be these kinds of animals in the water, there could be a bridge for people to cross on foot, or there could be a railway bridge. That is understanding the surroundings and the context. That is perception. And last but not the least, understanding language. That means interpreting human language and providing responses in human language. If suppose you are speaking in English, you are asking questions in English, then it should be able to respond in English. It should understand English, it should understand that is your language of choice and be able to give its responses in that same language. So these are the 5 core abilities: learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and language understanding. Now let's look at each of these in a bit more detail. Okay, so first one is learning. Learning is of course the most important part of artificial intelligence. The first aspect is gaining knowledge from experience. Now suppose you have done something and it misfires, so you learn from your mistake. You took a path, you took a road to reach your friend's house, and you realize after some time that actually the road is a dead end and you have to take some other way. So next time you will not take that dead end road, you will take the second road, right? So that means you have gained knowledge from your experience. Similarly, AI systems also learn from their data. The more data they have access to, the smarter they can get, because they have more data to learn from. Plus, we also use something called feedback. We give them input, they will process it, give us the output, and we will tell them whether the output that they have given is right or wrong. That is how we use data to improve over time. For example, YouTube learns what you like to watch. The example that I was giving you earlier as well. You have watched so many videos on YouTube that now when you're watching a new video, then on the right hand side you will see suggestions. Now this is about YouTube learning what you like to watch when you have already watched many videos. But what about someone goes to YouTube for the first time? They get suggestions even then. How does that happen? YouTube is learning not about the videos that you watch. It also knows where you are from. Maybe your gender also if you have shared. Maybe your age also if you have shared. And what you do, your occupation, whether you are a student or if a grown-up person is a writer, is a business person, is a corporate executive. So they know all this information. They have this information for other people who are watching YouTube. When a new person comes to YouTube, they will see, oh, this person is from the place X. What are other people in this place watching? It will give you suggestions from there. If it knows you are a girl, it might look at what girls your age mostly watch and it will give you suggestions. This is how YouTube will learn what kind of videos you enjoy and recommend them. In fact, it is not just about YouTube. Have you ever watched on Spotify that you add a playlist and songs in the playlist have ended, and if you don't just pause Spotify, it will continue to play the music. So where has it got its songs from? Basically what it does is each song has lots of tags associated with them: mood, time of the day people generally listen to, the musician, the movie, then who is singing them, what type of music it is. And it will, based on the type of music that you listen to, the singer you often listen to, the movies you often listen to, it will play similar songs after your list has ended. That is how Spotify works. Similarly, Amazon, we are shopping on Amazon, you will get so many recommendations. Same way, it has learned from either your behavior or behavior of people who are similar to you in demographics, where you stay, what is your age, what is your occupation, these things. Okay, so that was about learning. The next core ability that we want to talk about is reasoning. What does reasoning mean? Reasoning means making decisions logically. Now, we all know that computers are really good at making logical decisions, choosing the best option out of the options given. So, artificial intelligent machines are also very good in making decisions, but to make the right decisions, they have to have lots of data so that it just doesn't guess randomly. If you want it to tell you what type of marketing campaign your company should undertake, you should feed it all the data about your previous campaigns and what was the output. Was it successful? Was it not successful? How did you decide? What are the parameters or the metrics for deciding whether it was successful or not? You are going to be in class 9th and you have to decide whether you should take Hindi or Sanskrit. So how do you decide? One thing is you like one of the subjects. Fine, then you choose that. But suppose you are okay with either of them. Or maybe you don't want to take any of them, but you have to make a decision. So how do you do that? Maybe you will pick out the past 5 years marks of class 10 students and see which subject is better if you want to gain good marks. So you are providing data, and then the AI system will tell you, hey, based on the past 5 years performance, this is the subject you should take. It is providing you the best option. That means it has learned from the previous data that you have provided. In the learning phase, it learned from that data, and now in the reasoning phase, it is helping you take logically good decisions. For example, if you have a machine that plays chess, it will think ahead. It has got many successful games loaded in its memory. It is trained on those chess games of the past, and based on that it analyzes, if the opponent does, if I do this, then the opponent does this, then I do this. It is fast in doing this analysis. We will take time, but the machine does not take time, and AI machines definitely do not take time because they have much better hardware which is very fast. The chess playing AI would think 50 steps ahead, and then accordingly it will make its decision that which piece it should move. Next is problem solving, finding solutions to tasks or challenges. And frankly speaking, problem solving is all about using logic to fix the issues. Suppose you get stuck on a maths problem. What do? You try different approaches. AI does the same thing. It will break down the big problems into smaller steps and then solve it and show you the solution. For example, Google Map is expert in finding the shortest route. Of course, if you have used Google Maps quite a few number of times, you will see that you might have observed or experienced that the shortest route is not always the best one that you should take. But then that is the difference between artificial intelligence and human intelligence. You can see that the road is not so good for your vehicle or for you to travel, but Google Maps cannot see that. Perception means sensing what is around you. We humans use eyes and ears to see, hear, experience. Artificial intelligence systems use cameras and microphones. The machines will have cameras using which they can see whatever is in their range, or they can use microphones from where they are catching the sound, the language that people around them are speaking. So that is how they develop perception. For example, self-driving cars. Now, self-driving cars can see the road. And what does that seeing mean? Seeing means that it has cameras all around it so that it can have a 360-degree view. Now, we already know that our cars have a rear camera. If we are putting the car in reverse gear, then we can see what is there to a limited extent. Self-driving cars have many more cameras fitted so that they can see what is going in front of them, which vehicle or humans or even animals are walking on the road beside them. That is how self-driving cars perceive their surroundings using cameras. Or they will have microphones, so if somebody is honking the car, they will hear it and take decision based on that whether they need to move to a bit left or right, or they need to accelerate and go ahead. And last but not the least, language understanding, one of the most important cognitive abilities that we humans have, which makes us different from other animals. And of course, it is the most important thing in a machine, because if a machine cannot give you response in a language that you understand, it doesn't serve the purpose. Language understanding helps the AI to talk to us in our own language. It can read, it can understand, it can generate its responses in the language that you understand. And it is typically used in translation, voice assistants. For example, we use Google Translate. We give it in one language and ask it to convert into another language. It has a list of languages. Or we are using Alexa or Siri. Hey Alexa, what is the latest news? What is the latest sports news? Or you can ask Siri through voice command to open up an app. So that is how language understanding helps AI to interact with humans. That brings us to the end of today's lesson. Let's just recap quickly in 30 seconds. Artificial intelligence means smart machines, but they do not at all mean human intelligence, human level intelligence. The 5 key skills that AI systems need to have is learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and language understanding. That's all for today. The next video in this series would be on types of AI. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I promise to answer. And share it if you know someone who would benefit by it. Also, please subscribe to the channel so that when I post the next video, you get to know about it immediately. That's all for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.